Have you ever wondered why some people just lose respect from those around them, even when they didn't mean to? It's often not one big mistake, but a series of small, toxic habits that quietly destroy your reputation and poison your relationships. The worst part? Most of us don't even realize we're doing it. Today, we're diving deep into 6 awful habits that make people lose respect for you, and how timeless Stoic philosophy gives us powerful tools to break free from these traps. Rebuild our character. If you want to be someone others admire and trust, this video is your wake-up call. Habit 1. Gossiping. The quiet assassin of respect and integrity. Gossiping often masquerades as harmless chatter, a way to bond, entertain, or vent frustrations. Yet beneath its seemingly innocent surface, gossip is one of the most destructive behaviors when it comes to building and maintaining respect. It erodes trust, damages reputations, and most importantly, betrays the very core of your character. When you gossip, you expose yourself as someone who lacks self-control, discretion, and a commitment to truth. The ancient Stoics viewed such behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. To them, virtue, especially wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, was the only true good, and all other things like reputation or wealth were indifferent. However, because social harmony is crucial for a flourishing life, how you treat others and what you say about them profoundly reflects your virtue or lack thereof. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, emphasized that we should concern ourselves only with what lies within our control, our own judgments, desires, and actions. Our speech absolutely falls under this category. When you engage in gossip, you relinquish control over your moral integrity and become a slave to idle chatter and baseless judgments. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This means that the approval of others is secondary to your own commitment to virtue. So even if gossiping might momentarily make you feel included, it degrades your inner excellence. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, reminds us repeatedly in his meditations to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved and the raging of the sea falls still around it. This metaphor is especially relevant when facing social pressure to gossip. You must build your inner fortress, a mind steadfast in virtue that resists the pull of idle talk. Instead of joining the swarm of careless words, you choose silence or positive, truthful speech. This is a form of self-mastery and resilience. Moreover, Stoicism teaches the importance of focusing your energy on your own character rather than others' flaws. When tempted to gossip, turn inward and ask, what can I improve about myself? Am I acting with kindness, wisdom, and justice? This mindset shift helps transform your social interactions into opportunities for growth rather than destruction. Practically, to overcome gossiping, cultivate mindfulness of your speech. Before sharing anything about someone else, pause and evaluate, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If any answer is no, refuse to speak it. Replace gossip with meaningful conversation that builds others up or discusses ideas and values. Over time, this habit becomes second nature and reshapes how others perceive you. Not as someone who tears others down, but as someone worthy of trust and respect. This change also reduces inner conflict because living in alignment with Stoic virtues brings peace of mind. When your words match your highest principles, you become a person others admire, not just for what you say, but for the quiet strength you embody. The respect you lose through gossiping is not just social, it's a loss of self-respect. Stoicism offers the path back, reminding us that the first step to being respected by others is to respect ourselves. Habit 2. Being unreliable, the slow erosion of trust and respect. Few things undermine respect more steadily and silently than unreliability. When you repeatedly break promises, show up late, or fail to follow through on commitments, you send a message louder than words. Your word isn't trustworthy, and you don't value other people's time or feelings. Over time, this corrodes relationships, diminishes your social capital, and damages your reputation. Trust, once fractured, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. People will hesitate before relying on you, and respect will quietly slip away. The Stoics, with their unwavering emphasis on virtue and self-discipline, place great importance on the consistency between what you say and what you do. Epictetus said, "If you say you are a philosopher, act like one." That means embodying the qualities you claim to hold, reliability foremost among them. Virtue is not mere talk or theory, it is demonstrated through action. Being reliable is a clear sign that you govern your impulses, manage your priorities well, and treat others with justice and respect. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we should focus only on what is within our control, our own choices, judgments, and actions. Often, unreliability stems from poor planning, distraction, or a lack of clear boundaries. The Stoic solution is cultivating self-mastery. Learn to say no when necessary. Manage your time deliberately, and honor the commitments you make as sacred agreements with others. Importantly, reliability is not about external approval or fear of social judgment. It is a reflection of your own rational nature and integrity. When life inevitably throws challenges your way, Stoicism teaches that you respond with honesty and responsibility. Communicate proactively if something prevents you from fulfilling a commitment, rather than making excuses or avoiding accountability. Accept your failures openly and see them as opportunities to improve, rather than reasons for shame or blame. By committing yourself to reliability, you create a foundation of trust others can depend on. This steadiness earns genuine respect and fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. Moreover, it reinforces your own self-respect and inner harmony, both central to Stoic flourishing. Your reliability becomes a visible testament to your virtue, showing that you live by reason and honor your role in the interconnected web of human community. In a world where chaos and unpredictability abound, the dependable person shines brightly. They are a rock others can rely on, unchanging, steady, and honorable. Cultivate this habit with patience and resolve, and watch how respect naturally follows. Habit 3. Interrupting others, a sign of disrespect and lack of self-control. At first glance, interrupting someone during a conversation might seem like a minor social misstep, perhaps an innocent display of enthusiasm or urgency. But in reality, it reveals a deeper problem that quietly chips away at respect and trust. When you interrupt, you communicate impatience, disregard for the other person's thoughts, and a failure to regulate your own impulses. It tells people around you that your voice matters more than theirs, and that their perspective is less worthy of attention. Over time, this habit builds invisible walls between you and others, making authentic connection difficult and undermining your social standing. Stoic philosophy holds that the foundation of wisdom and virtuous living begins with attentive listening. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, gave us a powerful reminder. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This insight highlights that listening is not passive but an active, disciplined practice. It requires temperance, the self-mastery to restrain your own urge to speak prematurely, and instead be fully present to understand what the other person is communicating. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his Meditations, often reminded himself to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands firm, unmoved. In conversations, this metaphor teaches us to cultivate inner calm and emotional control. Rather than reacting impulsively to interrupt or dominate the dialogue, you develop patience and composure. This self-control transforms your speech from a mere expression of ego into a thoughtful, deliberate action that builds harmony rather than discord. Interrupting often stems from unconscious drives, the desire to be heard, fear of being forgotten, or anxiety that your point will be lost. The Stoics would advise turning these impulses into moments of reflection. When you feel the urge to cut in, pause and ask yourself, why do I need to speak right now? Am I listening to understand, or am I waiting for my turn to talk? This mindful awareness is the first step to breaking the habit. Another key Stoic practice is to approach conversations with the goal of learning rather than winning. True wisdom grows from understanding others' viewpoints, even if they challenge your own. When you listen fully, without interruption, you open yourself to new insights and deepen mutual respect. This attitude fosters empathy and transforms interactions from competitions into meaningful exchanges. Practically, to overcome interrupting, train yourself to hold silence until the other person has fully expressed their thoughts. You might count to 3 in your mind after they pause before responding, a simple technique that reinforces patience. Practice reflecting back what you heard before adding your perspective, signaling that you value their contribution. Over time, this habit will profoundly change how others experience you. They will feel genuinely heard and respected, making them more open, trusting, and willing to engage deeply. You, in turn, will embody the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others, exercising reason, patience, and virtue in every word you speak. Habit 4. Complaining. The hidden drain on energy, respect, and inner peace. Complaining is a deceptively common habit that many people fall into without fully realizing its damaging effects, not only on those around them but also on themselves. At first, it might seem like a harmless way to vent frustrations or seek sympathy. Yet, frequent complaining reveals a mindset stuck in negativity and victimhood, which quickly erodes the respect others have for you. It creates an atmosphere saturated with gloom, helplessness, and dissatisfaction, repelling positivity and pushing people away. More importantly, it drains your own energy, clouds your judgment, and weakens your ability to respond effectively to life's challenges. Stoicism offers a profound and practical remedy to this destructive cycle. Central to Stoic philosophy is the vital distinction between what lies within our control and what does not. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, encapsulated this in his timeless wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Complaining fixates on external events, often things beyond our influence, and squanders precious mental and emotional energy resisting the inevitable rather than directing effort toward what we can change, our own attitudes and actions. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, advised himself to reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. This instruction challenges us to rethink our relationship with adversity. Instead of fixating on hardships or perceived injustices, we are invited to cultivate acceptance, recognizing that the world unfolds according to nature and reason. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but a powerful acknowledgement that our true power lies in how we meet difficulties, not in wishing they didn't exist. Beyond acceptance, Stoicism deeply values gratitude as a tool to transform perspective. When you shift your focus from what is lacking or wrong to what is present and good, even small blessings, you retrain your mind toward positivity and abundance. Gratitude softens the urge to complain and fortifies resilience. It aligns your inner state with virtue and tranquility rather than discontent. To practically uproot the habit of complaining, begin with mindfulness. Become aware of the moments you feel compelled to complain. When this impulse arises, pause and ask yourself two critical questions. Is this within my control? If it is, what constructive action can I take to improve the situation? If it is not, can I accept it as part of the natural order and choose to focus on my response instead? This reflective pause interrupts the knee-jerk reaction of negativity and opens space for reasoned choice. Replace complaints with problem-solving and expressions of gratitude. For example, if you're stuck in traffic rather than grumbling, use the time to practice patience or reflect on something positive in your life. Journaling 3 things you're grateful for daily is a simple, effective Stoic exercise that rewires your mental habits toward appreciation and calm. By consistently applying these Stoic principles, you don't just stop complaining, you transform how you engage with the world. You become someone who meets obstacles with dignity, courage, and equanimity. This shift earns you the respect of others who see your strength and maturity, and more importantly, it cultivates inner peace and resilience. Complaining fades from your character because you recognize it as a waste of energy and a betrayal of your own rational nature. In a chaotic world, those who master their responses rather than react with frustration stand out as beacons of strength and wisdom. Let Stoicism guide you to break free from the draining habit of complaining and step into a life of greater respect, effectiveness, and serenity. Habit 5. Not taking responsibility. The quiet erosion of character and trust. One of the most damaging habits that causes people to lose respect for you is the refusal to take responsibility for your actions. When you shift blame onto others, make excuses, or deny your role in a situation, you reveal a lack of integrity and maturity. This habit corrodes your credibility and weakens relationships built on trust and honesty. Over time, it signals to those around you that you are not dependable or authentic, a perception that quickly erodes respect. Stoicism teaches that responsibility is fundamental to virtue and flourishing. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-Stoic philosopher, emphasized that it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. This places the locus of control firmly within yourself. Your judgments, choices, and actions are yours to own, regardless of external circumstances. To shirk responsibility is to give away your power and deny the core Stoic tenet that we are rational beings capable of governing ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote in his Meditations that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This insight reframes mistakes, failures, and obstacles not as dead ends but as essential parts of growth and self-improvement. When you take responsibility, you embrace the challenges before you as opportunities to develop wisdom, resilience, and better judgment. Practically, cultivating responsibility requires radical honesty, starting with yourself. When faced with a failure or error, resist the impulse to blame external factors or other people. Instead, engage in sober self-reflection. What role did I play? What could I have done differently? What lesson can I take forward? This process can be difficult because it demands humility and courage, yet it is the bedrock of genuine growth. Communicating. Openly and transparently with others when you make a mistake is equally important. Admitting faults promptly, apologizing sincerely, and taking corrective action demonstrate accountability and build trust. People naturally respect those who own their errors rather than hiding behind excuses or defensiveness. Moreover, taking responsibility is not about self-blame or harsh judgment. The Stoics advocate a balanced view. Acknowledge faults honestly, but avoid unnecessary guilt or self-condemnation. The goal is progress, not perfection. Each misstep is a lesson, a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and character. By internalizing this habit, you become a person who stands firm in the face of challenges, who does not evade but confronts reality with clarity and courage. This integrity creates a foundation of trust that others instinctively respect. Your reputation grows as someone reliable, authentic, and committed to growth. In a world where many deflect blame and avoid accountability, the Stoics' commitment to responsibility shines as a beacon of strength and maturity. Embrace this habit, and you not only reclaim your power, but earn the respect and trust that come from living with integrity. Habit 6. Being defensive. The silent barrier to growth, respect, and authentic connection. Being defensive is a deeply human reaction when we feel criticized, misunderstood, or threatened. Yet this instinctive habit, while understandable, can quietly erode respect and stunt your personal development. When you respond defensively, you often shut down honest communication, block valuable feedback, and alienate others. Over time, this behavior damages relationships and closes the door on the very growth and self-improvement that lead to true strength and wisdom. Stoicism offers a transformative perspective on how to handle criticism and perceived attacks. Rather than viewing criticism as a threat to your ego or self-worth, Stoics teach us to regard it as useful information, an opportunity to learn and refine our character. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Throw me to the wolves, and I will return leading the pack." This statement embodies the fierce resilience Stoicism cultivates. Challenges and criticism do not break us. They can make us stronger if we embrace them with the right mindset. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic, famously advised himself, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed." This is a profound lesson in humility, reason, and virtue. Rather than letting pride or ego dictate our reactions, Stoicism encourages us to respond with calmness and openness, to see correction not as humiliation, but as a gift toward becoming better. Overcoming defensiveness starts with cultivating self-awareness and emotional mastery. The moment you feel the urge to defend yourself, pause. Recognize this emotional impulse without judgment. Ask yourself, is the criticism valid? What truth can I glean from this? How can I use this feedback to grow? If the criticism is unfounded or malicious, how can I let it go without taking it personally? This mindful reflection aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing only on what is within your control, your judgment and response. Active listening is another powerful Stoic tool against defensiveness. Truly hear the other person's words without interrupting or mentally preparing a rebuttal. This practice fosters empathy, clarity, and better communication. It shifts the interaction from confrontation to collaboration, opening pathways for mutual understanding. Stoicism also emphasizes equanimity, the ability to maintain inner calm and steadiness regardless of external events. When criticism arrives, meeting it with tranquility rather than agitation demonstrates emotional intelligence and strength of character. It signals to others that you are grounded, confident, and mature, naturally earning their respect. In daily life, cultivate this habit by taking a deep breath before responding to perceived criticism. Let your first response be silence or a thoughtful pause, rather than immediate defense. Over time, this transforms your interactions, making you a person who listens deeply, learns continuously, and grows steadily. By embracing Stoic wisdom on defensiveness, you turn what was once a barrier into a bridge, connecting you more authentically to others and yourself. You model resilience, humility, and openness, qualities that inspire respect and foster genuine relationships. In a world quick to judge and slow to listen, your calm acceptance and willingness to grow will set you apart. As we've seen, the 6 awful habits we explored today: gossiping, being unreliable, interrupting others, complaining, not taking responsibility, and being defensive, each chip away at the respect others hold for us and weaken our own character. But Stoic philosophy doesn't just point out what to avoid. It gives us the tools to rise above these destructive patterns. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and cultivating virtues like honesty, patience, gratitude, and humility, we reclaim our power to build respect and live with integrity. Remember, respect isn't something you demand. It's earned through consistent effort, self-awareness, and the courage to improve. The Stoics teach us that true respect begins within. When we master ourselves, we naturally inspire those around us. If you found value in this video, take a moment to reflect on which habit you're ready to tackle first. Change starts with awareness and small intentional steps. Embrace Stoic wisdom and watch how your relationships, reputation, and inner peace transform. Thank you for watching. If you want more insights on Stoicism and personal growth, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until next time, live with virtue, stay resilient, and keep growing.